Welcome to another episode of Move with Kyuta Klinger. Growing up, many of us are exposed to different sports for one reason or another. We organize, move, learn, and grow through sports. Sports have been a part of our culture, social fabric, education, and traditions. Some of us will pursue higher levels of these sports, whilst others will remain connected with their sport in a different capacity, whether it be to play for fun, to coach, or to spectate. This week, I'm joined by Elvira Dushku, who is a lifelong baller. From street ball to becoming a star player and now in her second term as Secretary General of Kosovo Basketball Federation, we dive into what it takes to grow the sport of basketball in Kosovo. I hope you enjoy this episode. Are we rolling? Okay, amazing. Well, welcome to Move, Elvira. It's a pleasure to meet you. I wanted to start with a brief introduction. You being the Secretary General of Kosovo Basketball Federation, you've been doing this for 8+ years now. But to take a step back, let's begin with how you started playing basketball in the 1990s, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously a lot has changed since then, but maybe you could tell a little bit about your experience during your playing times, and then also go into a little bit of the success that you enjoyed with, and I hope I don't butcher the pronunciation, but it's the 2003 Universiteti team, is it?
Good enough.
At the Trokal tournament. Yeah.
So yes, I started to play basketball in 1996. 3x3 at the time we called street ball, at the neighborhood with my brother, big brother, and then I continued to play at the elementary school, and then one education teacher, he came at me and he asked me if I play somewhere at the club level, and I said no, I don't play. I play at my neighborhood and I play here at school, street ball, and then he asked me if I want to join a team, if he can find a team for me, women's team, of course. And I said, okay, I will ask my parents for that. And then one former player at the time, Blerin Vunici, he had his daughter at the, we went to the same elementary school, and then he came to pick up his daughter, and then he saw me playing again at the school, street ball, and then he asked me if I want to join Prishtina team at the time, and because they had men's team, and they wanted to create, and there are some couple of girls that they are interested to play basketball. If you want to join, so my daughter Dorentina will tell you where are we training, this and that. And then, of course, I said that I have to talk to my parents because I play here, and I don't know if it was wartime in '96. And then I asked my parents, they said, oh, yeah, of course. And then I started to play until war started for the team of Pristina at that time. After the war, I continued to play for Universiteti team, but it was the same team, Pristina, but they changed the name at Universiteti. And I continued to play until 2007 when I quit basketball. But since 1999, I played for Universiteti of Pristina, and we won everything during that time until 2007, Cup, Super Cup, Championship, everything. We were the best. And then in 2003 came this idea from our board of the club to play for the in this international league. It's called Trokal League.
Yes.
At that time was the best, highest level women's league, and then we decided to participate. We had a lot of international basketball players, but of course we were 2 or 3 local players that we played 20-25 minutes. We had international coach, Croatian coach, we had Bosnian players, we had Croatian players, we had Russian players, we had Czech players, Ukrainian players, everything. So we had 7 or 8 international players, and we did very good at that time. We played abroad, and it was very interesting because during that time, after the war, it was interesting for us to have other ethnicities. I mean, Croatian, Bosnian players at the team to exchange culture and everything. And for 1 year, it was very good experience for us. But after that, I think that we heard something that Serbs team, they wanted to participate at this league because it was very interesting and a very strong league. But of course, we weren't recognized as Kosovo Basketball Federation internationally, 2003. And then they said, if they play, we don't play, this and that. And then we quit playing in that league, and we continued to play in our competition, domestic league, and we won everything until 2007 when our generation quit playing for basketball. But what I always say for this Troka League is that I always mention when I have chance that it was very good experience. I was a captain of the team, and of course I had to know everything what was going around the team, not just in the basketball court, but also outside of the court in level of organization. And I can say 100% that not women's but men's team now, they are not such a good organized what at the time university team was. So it was high level organization at the time, from the board, from the director of the team, sport director, coaches, players, and everything. Everything was. Until now, I don't see a team in Kosovo that has such organization like University had at that time.
When you say organization, is that so? Like the team chemistry, how that
Everything.
Women's team at that year kind of came together and was able to play together,
and also in level of organization of supporting to get support from the board of the directors, and also from ministry, also from municipality of the sponsor, because at that time we didn't have men's or women's team that were playing internationally. We were the first team, and I think that we got all the support because it was the first team that played internationally, and for us it was a very, very good experience. I never forget this experience in my life. I did everything after with basketball. I did a lot of things, but no, I will never forget this experience.
I would imagine also because it was after the war as well, like it was one of those, I mean, incredibly probably proud moments, but also highly pressurized as well, because for once Kosovo was sending out a team, right?
And I remember when we played in Pristina, first game we played in Pristina. First game we played in Croatia, in Zagreb, against team from Zagreb, but then we came back here and we had a game in Pristina. But in Pristina there were 500 spectators, but then we decided to play in Mitrovica. Crazy. Oh, wow. 2,000 spectators. Nobody believed when we went to the gym and 2,000 spectators, like now men's team, they play with such a spectators at that time we had. But the same thing happened when we went in Jakova to play. We got support from Jakova's, city. Yeah. And then the same happened in Peja. It was full gym. But mostly we played in Mitrovica because crowd was crazy. Yeah. When we were playing there, they were focused in basketball, and the atmosphere was amazing.
So really kind of feeling almost the whole country was behind your backs, supporting you guys.
I remember that the first game, no, but when second game or third game, I don't remember, because first 5 players that they went in the court, they were international players, and then the spectators from Mitrovica, they started to call my name because they want someone from domestic players to play. And then after the game, coach asked me what, I said, they want to start from five starting to have one domestic player. Then he started to do this with me, then with Teuta, with Dorotina, with all the players. So it was very interesting.
Now that you are on the, let's say, other side, having experienced a career as a player and now part of the federation, how have things kind of shifted since then? It was obviously a different time, and now, 2025, like things are growing in different ways. But what is fundamentally different, and what do you think is still maybe kind of missing, if that's appropriate to say?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. It's supposed to be much better, When I say much better, it's in level of supporting women's basketball. But now it's much difficult for the girls and women's in basketball, in that way that we want to get more support from local government, from the sponsors, but it's not easy. At that time it was easy because it was just one club from Kosovo that was participating first time in international league, and focus was just one, and you had to give money to one club, and it was easy. Now there are 6 at the Super League women, but then we have also 25 to 28 other leagues that participate in the girls and women's league. But now what is much better than then is that we are internationally recognized since 2015, and girls, they can play at their team, but during the summer they play for national teams. At that time we didn't have that chance to play for our jersey. And I always complain when I see girls that they don't try so much, they don't do so much when they play for national team, because I wanted to have that experience and I didn't have, because we weren't recognized. In 2007, I quit playing basketball, and then 8 years after I quit, then we got recognized from FIBA, from International Basketball Federation. And I always complain, and I always have this discussion with former basketball players. At that time, we were so much motivated. We had so much, desire to play basketball. Now you cannot see that, not at all. Girls and women in basketball, but you cannot see that desire, maybe because they have now everything and they don't need to fight. But again, I'm happy because in 2015 we were recognized, and 2017 when we get data how much girls and women play are in our database, they were 172, and now we have around 500. So when we did the data in the end of the season, so I think we are doing great in a level of getting more girls girls and women to practice basketball. And one other thing is that we had a basketball club of Pristina, women's club, that they played internationally a couple of years ago. They didn't add good draw in an international, and they had to play against team from Besiktas, from Turkey, from Russia, and they weren't lucky in a draw, and of course they lost all the games. And for many years we didn't have clubs that played international. Now we will have one club from PEA, BC PEA 03, that they will play international. And it's very important when you have one team or two teams that they play international, because then girls, they can see another chance. They will play also outside of Kosovo. They will have chance to get to see other clubs, to see them, or agents or something, and they will go also international to play, because I think it's very important to have more role models. Of course, to have role models here in Kosovo, but also it's very important to have girls and women that they play outside of Kosovo, and our girls to see as a role example that they can go and study and play outside of Kosovo.
Yes, when you have more exposure at different levels, then... Yeah. Because that one team will then see where they match up against these teams like Besiktas or these other European teams, and then the other the 5 teams are like, well, we want to be that team, right? So they have another goal too, and then everyone who's watching those teams are then also kind of like, oh, there is a pathway to just not just domestically, but internationally, right?
Yeah. This is very important for us to have also women's team, because each year we have 1 or 2 men's team that they play international. They play qualifiers for Basketball Champions League, FIBA Euro Cup, and we were very happy when we got BCPA 03, then when they asked for a meeting and they said that we want to mobilize, we want to invest, and we want to play international. For us, it's very good. For women in basketball, it's very good to have one team that will play internationally.
You are 8 years into the Secretary General. You are one of, if not the only, female in an executive position out of, let's say, is it 30 plus different federations? So When you first started as the acting, and then that obviously became a permanent role, or what were your sort of expectations? Because coming in as a player, again, you're very familiar with the basketball environment here in Kosovo. Like, sort of, did you come in with a vision, like a number of things that this is what I really want to focus on? And 8 years on now, how much of that do you think you've done? How much is sort of still to go, kind of?
First of all, I didn't expect to get this position at that time. I was young. Of course, when I started to work part-time and then full-time at the Basketball Federation, I had my goal that after maybe 2 or 3 years to apply for this position. But when I started 2015, it was just 2 years, and then I was learning. I was doing some courses with International Basketball Federation. I have a good relationship with International Basketball Federation, and of course, in the role of the PR, public relation manager. But when the president at the time of the Basketball Federation, now former president, he said to me that, Elvira, listen, tonight we have a board meeting and we will appoint you as acting Secretary General. I said, okay. We will appoint you. He didn't ask me. He said, we will appoint you, and then we'll see if we can find someone. Or let's see, because we had conversation with FIBA, and also they said that maybe we should try you, and I said, okay. I didn't expect. And then, of course, I was a famous basketball player and everything, but when you get this role, it's not, you are not, I mean, the clubs, they can eat you, and then clubs and players and everyone, because you are in executive role and you have to make decision, maybe 20 plus decision during the day, and most of them they are related to the players, to the club, to the coaches, and it's
so many different stakeholders, right?
Yes, a lot of stakeholders, and then of course board they appointed me, and then. When I started, I remember it wasn't easy. It was very hard, not because I am a woman, but because I had to change my mindset from a player, because at that time, as a PR manager, I had all the contact with the players. I was going around, but it's not something that I had to make decision for them or for the coaches or for the clubs. It's PR manager.
You're almost one of them, so it's easy to.
You are there with them.
Yeah.
And now you are at the office. You have to make decision for them, and it took a long time to change that mindset. But thanks to I have a mentor. I had very important mentor from FIBA at that time, Radmila Turner. But they started new courses, seminars for the former players or players that they are ending the career, and helped me a lot for 1 year, for 2 years. Then I started to change mindset, and then of course sometimes during the day I heard a lot of players and teams and everything, but I was in that position. I had to make a decision. And this first 4 years, it was difficult, but then it started to getting better and better, and now at that time, I started 2017 in this role, and now it's 2025, and I think that I can say 100% that I get a lot of respect from the teams, from the players, from all the stakeholders, sponsors, partners. So I think that in all meetings, it's not that just president is going, it's president and secretary general. So we go in all meetings, and they respect me a lot. And at the Kosovo Basketball Federation, I can say that it wasn't because I was a woman, but because I was a player, and from player to go there and not to help players, not to help teams. They always will come and they say, "But Elvira, you were in our position." I mean, the players or the clubs or the coaches. But I tried, but I take a lot of time to work with the stakeholders. So for me, it's very important to have good relationships with the teams, all teams, not just the elite teams, but also with the players and with the sponsors and partners, and also International Basketball Federation, Kosovo Olympic Committee, and all other stakeholders. But yeah, first 4 years, they were it wasn't easy for me to change the mindset from the player to decision making for the basketball. It's not just women's basketball, but basketball in Kosovo.
But it must be incredibly valuable though, having that player experience, right? Because you've gone through from the 3-on-3 days to then into a much more structured, even going to these international tournaments. So you've kind of seen it at different levels. So that understanding is kind of it's unless you've experienced it, someone who comes in as an executive that has all the management experience and just comes into the role is maybe unable to kind of communicate in a certain way and to also like have that maybe 360-degree perspective, right?
Of course it helped me a lot. I said I had this background, one of the best basketball players for many years before the war and after the war, but then again, clubs, they want everything. They want to run everything, but someone has to say, stop. We are a governing body, and if we want to grow basketball, it has to be together. It's very important to say to them, it has to be together. It's not just Kosovo Basketball Federation is developing our office. It's clubs, teams, schools, basketball schools, players, everyone. Everyone has to work hard to develop basketball. And for that reason, I think that we are the most popular sport in Kosovo, I can say, because the gyms during the season, they are full, and when its playoffs started, it's going crazy. At the men's side, of course, and we are investing a lot in women's basketball, not just the women's first league, but also other low leagues, and we are investing in different campaigns. We have 2 different marketing companies, one for the specialized for the women's basketball, one is just in general. So it's something that we are really trying to do to grow basketball, not just in elite, but also in youth level, and also in it has to start from grassroots. I started from grassroots. Former president started from grassroots. Board members, that they are basketball players, the staff, everyone started from grassroots. So I think that we need to focus to start everything from there.
Building on that, you mentioned that there were a number of strategic initiatives that you guys are focusing on, and one of them is going to be women's basketball, and I'm sure we'll dive into that a little bit more. But can you maybe go through those strategic initiatives because this is really interesting of like, how do you grow a sport, right? And as you mentioned, grassroots, because people have to learn that this is a game, it's a fun game, and then through that they decide to continue, and maybe pursue it, right? And then of course you mentioned the elite. Obvious, because the professionals, you have to this can be a profession and also something to aspire to, right? But then the levels in between, sometimes it's unless you're really, this is your work, it's hard to come across and understand that, right?
For sure, yes. But during the COVID, I mean, our president, he was appointed 2018 as a president of the Kosovo Basketball Federation. And since 2018, we were talking about strategic plan, because I was doing these courses, these programs with FIBA, and they were pushing, FIBA International Basketball Federation, they were pushing the federation to work in a strategic plan. And then during the COVID, we had time. And then we started to work for 8 months with International Basketball Federation to prepare the strategic plan. And at that time, we worked for 8 months, 2021, 2025. We have strategic plan. It will come in the end this year. And then in October, we will start new strategic plan 2026, 2030. And again, we will work with FIBA. But at that time, for us, it was... we were focused in five players, 5 goals. We had 5 main goals, and one of first, of course, it was high performance, coaches education, 3x3 in schools, 3x3 elite, and then it was women. Women in basketball, it is girl and women in basketball,
sure.
both of them, because with women we mean that when they quit playing basketball, we want them to
still
continue,
be involved, right?
As a coaches, as administrators at the clubs or at the federation. For example, I have 6 former basketball players that they work at the female basketball players that they work at the federation, and of course we want more. And then the first goal, it was high performance, and then the second one is girl and women in basketball. Then it's finance. We want to grow in a financial part, and then it's club development. We want to focus not just the Kosovo Basketball Federation to get structure as we have annual general assembly, and then we have executive board, executive committee, and then we have office, and we want to work with the clubs to have the same structure. It's not easy also with elite clubs. Also, we have clubs that is in elite, no, but in other leagues we have clubs that is one-man show. One man is coach, one man is financial guy, one man is everything. So we want to start that, to change that mindset. We started 2 years ago with FIBA the seminars. We are getting experts from abroad to how to teach. I mean, to lecture our clubs how it's very important to have structured clubs, because in this way we can develop them. So this are the 5 main goals of the Kosovo Basketball Federation. But yeah, focus it's in club development and women in basketball, of course, and high performance, because there is coaches. Without good coaches, we will not have good players.
The women's side of things, right? Like when I was kind of doing a little bit of research here, like it's not a situation that's unique to Kosovo, like the challenges that you face, right? Of course, Kosovo has its own challenges, which maybe you can elaborate on, but the sort of dropout rate, right? Like up to 18 girls are active, they play basketball, but then slowly, because of maybe the lack of career prospects or thinking that it's just a game, or maybe they lose interest, perhaps even injuries, these things occur, and then the population seems to kind of fade away, right?
It's not just in Kosovo, like you said, because 2 months ago we been in Riga, Latvia, in a Secretary General's meeting, and then we had this topic that someone raised, and then we discussed a lot about this. That it's not just in Europe, but also in world from 16 to 18. Girls start 10, 11 to play basketball, then 16 to 18 they quit playing basketball because they focus is in a school, in university, and then to find a job, then to create a family, to have kids, and that's it. Or now, I mean, we have cases when they get injured and they quit because they cannot. They cannot continue, not in a money way, but because they cannot rehabilitate, or they have other issues.
And that also has a domino effect on, let's say, maybe career prospects or other options that they might have, right?
Yes. So, and until 2 or 3 years ago, I wasn't aware that girls, they don't know, in Kosovo, they don't know they have chance to become coaches, to become referees, to become administrators. We participated in Cyprus with seniors women's national team for the first time in history, and then I went, of course, to watch the games there. And then after the games, because we won the 3rd place, it was historical and everything. And then one of the girls, she asked me, how you got this position? And I said, I was appointed. Come on. I said, yeah, I'm a former basketball player. I continued to work after I finished my career. I continued to work at my former team as a coordinator, voluntary. I never quit basketball. And, okay. But what can you offer us? I said, you can become a coach. Come on. Yes, you can become a coach, but you have to get education. We have some courses. You have to go. You can become a referee. So until 2021, they didn't know that they can have this. But again, it's not enough, because 2 weeks ago we had board retreat, and it was raised that we need to invest much more in campaign and in people to go to speak with the girls. It's not enough just to organize a seminar or a workshop to get them in one place and to talk to them, and that's it. We have to continuously to during the season to go and to talk with them, to explain to them, and to say it's easy. We are 5 people that we work at the federation, full staff, and 7 of them we are women. So it's easy to. But yeah, we need to focus more how to get more girls, not just at the federation, but girls and women, but also at the clubs level. Not just the women's clubs, but also men's clubs, to get hired as administrator, finance, I don't know. You have a lot of position that you can get, but we need to change the mindset of the people from at the clubs, and then also to support girls and women that they can work at the men's club.
To show them more, let's say, examples of like like real life examples of organizations, companies, right? There is the back office and people that support to help these teams, clubs operate, right?
Well, I said to them, you can work somewhere else, but you can do voluntary job at your club. I was working 10 years as a journalist of sport, but at the same time, after work, I was doing the voluntary job at the Prishtina team, the team that I played for many years. I continued to, and during the weekends, I was not going party, but I was traveling with the girls. So I was all the time since 1996 at the basketball. I never quit being part of the basketball community.
Your career actually just evolved into a different role, and you were always kind of trying to be connected with the game itself.
I think that we have very good community. And sometimes, they want more and more and more, and also we want more and more from them. They want from us, but we have very good community, and I think that we just need to focus that it's very important to coaches to get education, referees to get proper education, and then we will get much more youth referees, and then we will have much better players, men and women. And if we have good coaches, for sure we'll have good players in the future.
Do you feel that compared to the women's side, men stay in the sport involved much longer?
Yeah.
And is that just reflective because they see more men coaches, men referees? Is that sort of part of the...
Sort of that, and also because at 18, it's one thing, or they go and play at the elite, 18, 19, for example, for the elite clubs, or they continue to play for lower leagues and they will get paid. So they are all semi-professionals, or they go to the profession. So for the men's, it's much good environment at this time.
They seem to have more options.
More options, but I think when I see the transfers during the season with this team that is playing internationally, we have very good players that they stayed for one club for many years, and they started to transfer to this team, PA team that will play international. So also women's basketball, and when I hear about the amount of money that they get, I'm very happy. I'm very happy that also the women's basketball, it's getting attention. So for that, I said at the beginning that it's very important to have clubs that they play internationally, not just 1, 2, or 3, because then it will get attention and visibility and everything, and they will get amount of money. If, for example, if one player gets 3,000 euro per month, of course the young girls, they will hear about this and they say, oh, she can have a career, she can get 3,000, for example, I don't know how much, per month. Why I can't do that? So they will continue to play basketball.
I think for good and bad, finances is a huge aspect. I guess is part of the challenge is to have them. And you mentioned, I'm thinking about sort of the kind of the change in legislation as well, where having dedicated allocations for the different age groups or sexes as well, right?
Yeah. We talked a lot about this for many years since law of sponsorship started to be applied in a sport, and we talked with the clubs, but until now we didn't get response. When I say we didn't get response, is they are not working at the level we expect from them with the youth, both men and women. And then in a retreat that we had with the board of Kosovo Basketball Federation, so they decided, Kosovo Basketball Federation, we decided that it has to be in the licensing criteria for the season 2025-2026 that each club has to invest 10% of the money at the youth, both men and women. And I don't know how clubs will react because the board decided, and now this week we'll let them know. Let them know first, and then But of course, we have to do this together, and I think at the beginning, maybe we'll get not resistance, not from everyone, but I think they will understand that this is not money that is going at the federation or somewhere else. It's money that is going at the youth, and from the youth they will get domestic players that in the future they will play for their clubs. So I think it's very important that we will start this year with this 10% licensing criteria. Very important to invest in youth, both men and women, and then we will continue. The board decided each year 1, 5, 20. We will see, but it's very important to start this year and to implement. So we'll have a board. I mean, we have a group, working group from 3 persons, that they will monthly check if the clubs are implementing this.
I can imagine for a team like maybe Trepsha, like where they have much more income from, let's say, sponsorships and X, Y, and Z, that maybe they are a little bit more comfortable doing so.
Yeah,
but then,
they will do for sure.
But then a team that is not as popular or is more from a smaller city, then it could be a bit of a struggle where there would be maybe resistance, right? But then I guess the part of the dialogue is to make them understand that this isn't obviously for the federation. This is like to grow their own team. So actually they have homegrown talent as well, right? And all of this should feed up to the later stages or later levels of basketball, right?
Yeah, and for sure we'll need, after many years, we'll need 5. We will not need 5 international players, but we'll need just 3. And after 2 or 3 years, we'll have national team, very good national team, not just under 20, but also seniors. And thanks to this investment that clubs they will do in their clubs, in youth clubs. So, but one good thing is that in a board we have many of board members. They are also part of the elite clubs. So they agreed that we need this, because we need to start with this, or we can just continue to work that elite to commercialize basketball, and then Kosovo Basketball Federation to find a way how to create academies in different cities. But that's not an option. We want that if we want to grow basketball, we want to do this with clubs, because the most important stakeholders, they are the clubs and the players inside, yeah, of course.
I want to also kind of understand sort of, I know you have a lot of things on your plate, a lot of challenges. What are sort of the areas that are like kind of most, let's say, needed or focused on? So I've heard for other sports, for example, like women's football, one of the kind of struggles is securing the field infrastructure. Right? Yeah. There are fields, but for one reason or another, men's football or the youth take precedence before women's teams. So this isn't just limited to women's basketball, but as for Kosovo basketball in general, what are the sort of like, if there are like the number 1 challenge or top 2, 3 challenges that you from the federation are focusing on?
Infrastructure is for all the sports the biggest challenge, and it's not just women, but also at men's side. During the summer, it's crazy for us with national teams, because there are just 2 gyms in Prishtina, and we have to deal with 8 or 9 national teams that they have to practice during at the same times, and then you have different sports. And for that, now we started to change the attitude, and we started to send the teams in Prizren, in Ravec, in Jakova. It's not just focusing in Pristina, because we are killing 2 gyms in Pristina. It's from the Kosovo Basketball Federation, because during the summer we deal with national teams. But other infrastructure is also for the clubs, and when we speak with the clubs about youth investment, why they don't invest in the youth much more and this and that, they always mention infrastructure. But for the youth, you don't need big gyms to practice, so we need schools. And also we have a lot of schools, basketball schools and basketball clubs that practice basketball. We have good coaches. We don't have coaches or bad coaches. But infrastructure in general, it's a big problem also in basketball level. And other second challenge is coaches education. So we have in our database, we have around 100 coaches, but during the summer when we need to appoint coaches for youth national teams, it's very hard to get. For example, for one youth national team, you need 3 coaches, and for 7, 8 national teams, or it depends with how much youth national teams we participate in during the summer in FIBA tournaments. So it's very hard to get 20 coaches to engage them during the summer for 2 or 3 months, because or they organize their camps during the summer, or they have personal things. So we have coaches that they work is another than the coach, basketball coach, and then it's a second job to practice basketball. So now we decided that in next strategic plan in 2026 and 2030, the challenge that we faced in the first strategic plan, so coaches education and talent identification, so focus will be in these 2 goals. So we need good coaches, and then when we get all good coaches, then we'll have this talent identification. So we need them. We need good coaches to get to the talent identification. So this will be also when I'm saying good coaches and talent identification, I'm talking about both genders. So always when we talk about the strategic planning, it's always both genders.
Yes, and for that, you need the people that are interested or already are coaching and then willing to invest in themselves with the help of the federation. To continue their education, and then also get the experience, right? To then apply what they learn, right?
Yeah, for sure. For us, it's very important that this generation of basketball players, that they are ready to quit, or most of them that they quitted, both genders, men and women, to choose or if they want to continue as a coaches or as a referees or as administrators of the clubs, and then we start to educate new generation of the coaches and to focus to support them in domestic investment, but also international. We have very good programs also with FIBA for coaches, but it's very hard to decide and to choose 2 or 3 of them. And for the women's, we always have big problem to get women that they are ready to commit themselves to get in programs for 2-3 years to become a coach.
Is that because of the perceived lack of opportunities on their side, or like that 2-3 year commitment, is that something that it's just too much time?
It's too much time for them.
Okay, because they consider about maybe other opportunities to work.
What are the reasons? It's much easier to work at their clubs.
Okay.
It's good enough for them to work at the club, to practice some young girls, and that's it. But now, also to do that, they need, with new law in sport, they need license. So license or from Kosovo Basketball Federation or from FIBA. So now things will start to change. For example, we had it's not easy to get them in board and then to support them.
I think on one end, it's great that there's more structure with the corporation of FIBA and these external programs, but then it also tests how committed someone is, or how strong their interest is, because again, these are not like a weekend course, right? You need to, because they are. They go into so much more depth, and you really need to earn these certifications to become licensed. I want to just pivot to the sort of development of, let's say, players. And again, this is kind of like leading to the kind of theme of role models, right? So yourself being a star player, people could aspire to you, but you have the likes of, is it Tuhina?
Astera Tuhina, yes.
Right. So again, like kind of developing players like her, if you have, a team of Tuhinas, right? For example, then that's like that multiplies the effect of then people realize like, okay, wow, there's something special happening here, right? And then that increases automatically also the level of like the team and everyone else around those players, right? Are there efforts to kind of send, let's say, special talents that the federation believes to, let's say, maybe foreign leagues or camps as such?
Yeah, Astera Tuhina is not just role model in the court, but also outside the court. And thanks to her that she was playing in a college in the United States. Now we'll have it the same. Astera changed the college, but at the same college that Astera went, now will go the Malvina Aziri, another talent, 6 years old. She will go there from this year, and thanks to the visibility that Kosovo Basketball Federation got from Astera's tournaments that she did with the college in United States. And we have a couple of young girls that they are very talented, but most of them, they want to go abroad, for example, in colleges in the US. And the clubs, they started to complain because the basketball players, young basketball players, they are leaving the clubs and they are going in US. But we said to them that's it's up to them, because now they need to continue to work and to get other talents. And but yeah, we had an idea to create a team with basketball players around young, under 20. And to compete in under 20 league that we created from this season. That idea is developing. I'm not sure if we will get there, but for us it's very important that during the season, girls, they play at their clubs, and after the season, immediately maybe they have 2 or 3 weeks, and then they come to the camps with national teams. And during the summer, they are engaged more 2 or 3 months. It depends from the national team. They continue, and then immediately after they have 2 weeks break. They go maybe in vacation with family, friends, and whatever, and then they start to practice with the team to prepare for the next season. But yeah, we have this idea to create, because we had examples from countries in region that they did, and thanks to this investment that the federation did, they had success with the national team, because the girls that they were playing with the same club, then they were the girls that they played for national team. They won the bronze or the gold in Eurobasket was one national team. So yeah, we are developing this. I don't know if will make sense this for this season, or we'll continue to develop until next season. But for sure, we are trying and in a different direction to get attention for the women's basketball. It's not just in the field, but also in the marketing side, also in sponsorship side, and also government side, local and the main government. And I hope that soon we'll have the parliament and we will have the government, because we applied for one big project for the women to develop girls and women basketball. And if we get that, then we are in a track that after 4 years to have a senior women's national team that will participate in Eurobasket in 2029.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, Elvira, to wrap up our conversation, one more question.
Yeah.
What are your next moves?
My next move, my personal.
Could be personal, professional.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, professional, personal, yes. My next moves, I think, of course, my focus is to work now in this new strategic plan, 2026, 2030, and to focus in these two goals that I mentioned, coaches education and talent identification, but at the same time we will continue with girls and women in basketball, and these three goals will be until the end of 2030 will be my inspiration to get the level of Kosovo Basketball Federation from this to this. So if in 2029 we'll have a seniors women's national team to participate in Eurobasket, I will be more than happy. Other side, my plan is to sign in the end of this year. I will end my contract will end with the Kosovo Basketball Federation, but my plan is to stay, to sign for 4 more years. But again, in meantime, if I will get the offer from the FIBA, from International Basketball Federation, my goal is to go there and to continue the career there. So, yeah, this is my 2 main goals.
Amazing. That's really cool to hear, and I think it's really inspiring that you are really dedicated to growing the sport for men and women in Kosovo. So, thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you very much.